got the carburetor apart, and I'm trying to remember. The gasket's cracked across there. I thought I had made a gasket for it. I don't know. So, it's got some crud in the bottom. We'll have to clean that out. And we'll clean the little jets out there. And then what I did here, there were the bottom, this right here is part of the block. Well, it's part of the front of the, it's part of the front of the, not part of the block, but it's part of the front of the tractor. And then it bolts up to the block over there. And this is the bottom of the radiator. This is, it holds water. It's kind of like a little tank, you can see. And so the radiator bolts to that. I can show you an extra radiator right here. Get it down. See? So that bolts the bottom, and the bottom tank of the radiator is part of the tractor. So there's a gasket that goes there. So these bolts thread into this, and there's two that are broken off, and this one didn't look like it was leaking, but I went ahead and gooped it up with some stuff. This one was leaking, and so I was able to take a 10 millimeter, which is slightly bigger than these are 5/16. So we'll take a 10 millimeter tap and get a few threads, and so, you know, there's a bolt broke off in there on both of them, and the only way to fix that, I gotta take the hood off, take the radiator out, and I would ruin this bottom gasket doing it. So I decided, since this one's doesn't appear to be leaking, I went ahead and threaded this, you know, tapped it to 10 millimeter, because it was also stripped. It was broke off and then stripped what was left of the, so it's like a bolt broke off in there, then somebody tried to put a bolt in it and pulled the threads on it, so it was stripped and the bolt broke off. So anyway, I got it tapped to 10 millimeter and got like probably 2 or 3 threads, and so I took a 10 millimeter bolt and I had to put a couple washers, and I just gooped that hole with that's what is that stuff? It's weather strip adhesive. Fill that hole full of it, and then tighten this 10 millimeter bolt. It was kind of rigging it, but I don't want to take it all apart now, so I'll just keep an eye on it. There's not really any pressure on this radiator. There's not even a water pump on this tractor. You know, it just kind of, the water does its thing by temperature, because there's no water pump on it. Just kind of gravity fed, and the temperature of the water makes it circulate somehow. Somebody knows a little more about that than I do, but so there's not really much pressure or anything on it, so it should hold. And like I said, I'll keep an eye on it. and at some point we will fix it right. Take the radiator out and re-tap that. We'll drill it out, re-tap it, and then, like I said, fix it right. So, while that's sitting, pull the carburetor apart, off, like I showed you, so I'll get it cleaned up. Okay, so I got the carburetor cleaned out. I like to use to clean the jets, I use a tip cleaner. So got it all cleaned up on there. Pulled the float off, cleaned the needle and seat, cleaned a little jet down in there, that hole there and there. Pulled this out, cleaned it. There's a little jet in there. Cleaned it out, cleaned in the bowl. It's still kind of stained up and some pitting and stuff, but it'll be fine. So now we've got our new gasket. So we'll just slip our new gasket on. Kind of hard to do one-handed. There we go. And I can't do this one-handed because I need to hold this like this and put the other part on. I don't want to do it like that. I want to do it like this. So let me get it back together. So after I got the gasket on and got it back together, I realized that this top of the carburetor is warped. So I've done some filing on the high spots and it's better, but it's still warped. This part right here is low, and it was low right there. Well, this was high, that was high, and that was high. So this here could use a little bit more, but part of the problem is that this is low, and I don't want to try to bend that. This new gasket, I mean, it fits good, but if you can, there's the old gasket, and here's the new one. And look how much thinner. Come on, focus, focus. Eh. See how much thinner the new gasket is? Anyway, the old gasket is about twice as thick. So I'm going to soak this one in hopes that the high spots will crush down some. And hopefully it'll seal off. Wish it was a little bit thicker. And this one's broke right there. That would be a vacuum leak straight into the fuel bowl, so that's not good. So let me get this back together. Alright, it's better. I'll show you what I'm talking about. I said it's better. It's worse on the fuel bowl. before it was a pretty bad gap. Now this gasket does seem to be, did seem to compress, and it expanded a little bit too. So maybe it'll end up, maybe gas will swell it. Sealed up good there, and good on this side. So we may try to find a carburetor. I don't know, or a better gasket. So let's get it back on there. All right, I got water back in it. That was already wet before I started, so don't know yet. We'll see if it starts dripping. And if it leaks, I'll pull the radiator. I'll pull the radiator off and fix it the right way. But got the carburetor back on. Let's turn the gas on. And crank it up. Choke it. Run it for a few minutes with the hood off, maybe with the grill off. Put the grill on it because that's what supports the hood, and I want to go ahead and do that. And it looks like the carburetor is going to be okay. So, may need to adjust it. We're dripping, but it's coming out the overflow this time. pretty good where it was. Yeah, that's coming from the overflow. Overfilled the radiator a little bit. Alright, let me put the hood back on it.